God, Proof of Existence, Part 1. There are many people who profess to be atheists, and while this may not be true of 100% of them, certainly a great many will angrily defend their atheism. These radical atheists are vehemently opposed to those who believe in God, even going as far as to ridicule people for their faith in a God who, apparently, does not exist. But why do people get so angry about something that they claim not to believe in? God is real, but he will never force anyone to believe in him. He has presented very clear, overwhelming evidence before all of us. But if we choose to ignore that evidence, it is our choice. That is free will in action. Atheists may argue against this point, but the Bible makes it clear that it is a choice not to believe in God. The J.B. Phillips translation of Romans 1:19-22 puts it this way: It is not that they do not know the truth about God. Indeed, he has made it quite plain to them. For since the beginning of the world, the invisible attributes of God, e.g., his eternal power and divinity, have been plainly discernible through things which he has made, and which are commonly seen and known, thus leaving these men without a rag of excuse. They knew all the time that there is a God, yet they refuse to acknowledge him as such or to thank him for what he is or does. Thus they became fatuous in their argumentations and plunged their silly minds still further into the dark. Behind a facade of wisdom, they became just fools. Now, I'm sure that that's offensive to many people, but it is not my words. It is the words of the Bible. And no, it is not tolerant. Let's pause and deal with this tolerance issue before we continue our main study. Christians are not supposed to be tolerant. People will say, but aren't you meant to be like Jesus? The answer to that is yes, we are. But Jesus wasn't tolerant. Look at what Jesus said in John 3 verse 18. He that believeth not is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. That doesn't exactly sound very tolerant or inclusive, does it? Contrary to popular opinion, Jesus was never tolerant, when being tolerant meant sugarcoating the truth. The truth is that if you do not believe in Jesus, you are condemned. You can pretend that it's all right to follow Muhammad or Buddha or Krishna or humanism or atheism or whatever, and you have every right to do any of those things. But the truth is that all other paths lead to hell. Or how about the times when Jesus called the Pharisees a generation of vipers or whitewashed tombs? Not exactly tolerant. Imagine the response if Christians started using language like that today. So whether you like it or not, we can dismiss this myth that Christians are supposed to be tolerant. But getting back to the main topic, we have seen that, according to the Bible, nobody is born an atheist. It is a conscious choice to ignore the evidence in the world around us and to actively reject God. An atheist may be at a point in their lives now where they genuinely do not believe in God. But regardless of what they may say, this was not always the case. Every single atheist has made a choice to reject God, and over time, they have deceived themselves into a genuine state of unbelief. As Christians, we should never feel intimidated by atheists who use fancy-sounding phrases of worldly wisdom to put down Christians. God is not impressed by their so-called wisdom, and neither should we be. 1 Corinthians 3:19 says, "For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God." Atheists are often, but to be fair, not always, very arrogant in their assumption that people who believe in God are simple-minded fools. As Christians, we should not be like them. Although we know, rather than just think, that we are right, we must be confident but never arrogant. Our confidence, appearing to be arrogance, may be unavoidable, but that should never be the attitude of our hearts. We should be wary of getting drawn into pointless arguments with people who stubbornly refuse to believe. These types of arguments are helpful to no one. If God gives you something to say, say it, but if not, know when it is time to be quiet. Atheists can be very annoying in their arrogance, but we need to remember the sad path that they have placed themselves on. It is a path that even they would acknowledge has no hope beyond death, which could occur at any moment. The Bible makes it clear that choosing to not believe is extremely serious. In Revelation 21 verse 8, unbelievers are placed in a list with some pretty bad company, and the Bible makes it clear where their final destination will be. Those who are cowards, those who refuse to believe, those who do terrible things, those who kill, those who sin sexually, those who do evil magic, those who worship idols, and those who tell lies, they will all have a place in the lake of burning sulphur. That was from the International Children's Bible. Notice as it says, those who refuse to believe. As I said before, this is a conscious choice. Atheists have many things which they bring up to try to discredit Christianity, which I don't have time to get into here. But let's take a look at one such claim, namely that the Bible teaches that the earth is flat. These detractors will point to a verse such as Revelation 7 verse 1. After these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, and they'll laugh at how ridiculous the Bible is. But actually, the reference refers to the 4 main directions: north, south, east, and west. We use similar terminology today when we talk about the sun rising and setting, even though it in reality is the earth and not the sun which is doing the moving. We also say things like the sun is shining, when in reality the sun is shining every day. Bible writers use the language of appearance, just as people always have. Job 26 verse 7 in the New King James Version says, "He hangs the earth on nothing." How could anyone writing so long ago have known that the earth is suspended in space? Another favourite verse of the mockers is Isaiah 40:22. "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth." Again, they will laugh at how the Bible describes the earth as a flat disc. But the Hebrew word translated as circle can also mean round or sphere. Ultimately, we should avoid getting drawn into discussions about proving or disproving the Bible, proving or disproving God. Christianity is about faith. You either have faith to believe that God created the heavens and the earth, or you have faith to believe that everything in existence somehow just appeared from nothing, as if by magic. For me personally, the second option is by far the more ludicrous of the two.